Hey guys, behind me here is a wild plum tree. I found this tree while I was cleaning out a fence row behind me. I had to look online to see exactly what kind of plum tree it was. I'm calling it a tree. It's more of a shrub or a bush, I would say, but this is what they call a sand plum. I'm gonna try to pick enough plums to get a jar of jelly. I've never made it before. I guess you'd call it jam, maybe what I'm gonna make. But I'm gonna try to make a jar and see how it turns out. I think I've waited a little bit late. A lot of them have fallen off already, so I'm not gonna get as many as what I could have. This tree was covered with the plums. This one had a little mark on it, so I cut into it with my knife to see what it looks like on the inside. You can see they're pretty juicy and they're good. They're good to eat. Now this particular plant is covered with them, but they're yellow. Now I tried some of these yellow ones yesterday and they tasted pretty good, still being yellow. I'm gonna cut into one and see how juicy it is. And that's what it looks like on the inside. The first one I tried was a little bit sour, but there's quite a bit of juice in there. I'm gonna get quite a few of these as well. One thing I'm noticing on these, some of them are more ripe than the others, even though they're yellow. Makes me wonder if there is a yellow variety. Even some of the ones that have fallen off on the ground, like this one right here, they're still yellow. I don't see any pink ones on the ground. So maybe that is a yellow variety. Well guys, one of the things I'm kind of wanting to do is just try to think about maybe a survival situation, how to gather food that grows naturally or grow my own food. And that's really kind of what I'm wanting to do by learning how to make jelly. This will be the first time I've done it. I have just watched other YouTube videos and looked online, so I really don't know what I'm doing here. If you see something I could do better, feel free to comment and let me know. Well, this is all I have here, and I don't know if those will be ripe and juicy enough, but this is what I'm gonna work with. So I'm just gonna make one jar. You can see I've got some sticks on the bottom. Those are for making kebabs. Got some aluminum foil. I don't have a pot that's made for canning or a basket, so I'm gonna just boil this one jar. Now I'm not gonna seal and preserve it. I'm just gonna put it in the refrigerator when I get done, so I'm not worried as much about the seal being sealed. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and wash this fruit up. Now this one's starting to boil. I'm going to go ahead and boil this fruit right here. I've got it on high, so I'm going to get that boiled, and then I'm going to strain everything out of there. Moved everything into this smaller pan. I figure it'll be easier to get the foam off the top. I'm using this package of Sure Gel. On the back it tells you for every cup of sugar, I'm going to use 1 cup of sugar per cup of fruit juice. You use a box. I'm going to measure and see how much powder is in this box. So one package is 1/3 of a cup, just about. Not quite to the top, but pretty close. So I did the math here. 1 cup is 16 tablespoons. According to Google, I guess. So I just divided by 3. A little over 5 tablespoons in that package. So that's probably about 5 tablespoons. This package of Sure Gel had recipes in there. It's got one for plum jam. It says to use a little bit more sugar. It says 6 cups of plum, or 6 cups of plums, 8 cups of sugar. So I'm going to put a little bit of extra sugar in there. So the ratio that comes out to is 3 cups of plums to 4 cups of sugar. I think these things have been boiling about 10 minutes. I've got this thing, it's an avocado smasher. I don't have a potato smasher. Fixing to pull it off and smash them up. Now I'm not noticing a whole lot of foam on the top. I watched some videos where they said get the foam off. I'm not seeing much, so I'm just going to smash them in what I have there. I'm going to try to determine how much of this Sure Gel to use. I'm looking at this plum recipe again. Looks like one package is for 6 cups of cooked plums. So 1 package is equal to 6 cups. So this is the ratio I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put 3/4 cup of juice, 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of sugar gel. So I'm gonna use this to strain it with. I'm just gonna pour this into this bowl. I got another bowl under it. Then I'm gonna use my smasher to just smash it down. So I'm just pushing this around, trying to get as much liquid out as I can, but strain the seeds and the hulls. Now I'm using this spatula to just push again as much of that pulp through as I can through those holes, and try to get as much as I can. And I apologize for all the background noise. We got some kids playing on the couch over here. So this is the juice I got. So now I'm going to do the best I can to use this cup measure how many cups of juice I have. So I've got 2 cups measured there. I got a little bit left over, but actually I'm going to take some out because this is my ratio, is 3/4 of a cup of juice. I got another jar, so I'm going to double that. I'm going to double everything in this recipe, so it'll be 1.5 cups of juice. So now I'm going to bring that up to a boil. 1.5 cups of juice. I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of sugar gel to that, and then I'm going to stir it up. So now I've got it boiling. I'm putting in 2 cups of sugar. Boy, that's a lot of sugar. That don't look right to me, but we're going to try that. I'm going to stir it up. So I got this off of another YouTube video, but I'm going to try to get the temperature up to 220. And after you do that, you boil it for about 2 more minutes. It just got up to 220, and you can see it's boiling and foaming. So I guess 220 is a really good boil, and I'm going to boil it for 2 minutes at this temperature. So now I've just removed it from the heat. I'm not worried about that amount of foam right there, so I'm just going to try to pour it in my jar over here. So out of all that I did, I just got the 1 jar here. I'm going to put the lid back on, put it back here, and boil it for about 10 minutes. I'm not really looking for a good seal because I'm going to put it right in the refrigerator, so I don't know if boiling it in this jar is necessary, or in this pot is necessary, but maybe that'll help sterilize everything and help keep it, make it keep longer. I did have a little bit of juice left over, so I'm just going to repeat the process and make another little jar. I've got 1 jar boiling. This is my 2nd jar. I'm going to boil it next. One thing I learned today is there is a lot of sugar in jelly, and it doesn't take a lot of fruit to make a little bit of jelly. Once again, you can see my little device I've devised to keep the jar up off the bottom. That's why I'm only doing 1 jar at a time. So here's another look at my recipe I went with. These are my ratios. 3/4 of a cup of juice, 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of sugar gel. Of course, if you got twice that much, you can double it, triple it. That's just the ratios I used. So here are my 2 jars now. We'll have to try them out later.